Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, August 16th, 2023. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy hump day, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Steady down we go. Outside day down in the previous session. You can see right here a failed new high coming into the RTH open. Quite a bit of weakness and really pushing well through the previous session's midpoint, becoming an outside day early in the day, and really just kind of held on late in the session before falling into the close. It really could have turned ugly if it really wanted to, but it held on, and we still have a very, very clear downtrend that's been in play to begin the month of August. We are well through the previous month's midpoint, and as always, you break down through that midpoint. You start to work your way down to the previous month's low. So that's still the target ahead. 4411 is that level. 4400, the round number below. We may still be working our way down toward that target up ahead. Now, today, the early pullback is very important. So far, bears defending for a shot at maybe dropping this thing into the lower targets below. Bulls are trying to return this back to the previous session's midpoint, and perhaps even back to the top of the short-term range here. So at the moment, the overnight high is going to be very important. This overnight high right here, 44.67 or so, that's going to be the level to watch. You start to push through that high, you open up some upside. As of right now, an expanding narrow range at the lows. Fade new highs, fade new lows with a downward bias at the moment. If you take a look here at the NQ, similar price action, narrow range of price action. Just 88 points of range right now, 34% of average. So basically just a third of average range. The ES is at 37% of average range right now. Super narrow, doji-like bar. Again, expanding narrow range in the intraday time frame. And we could continue to see a little bit of back and forth here. Through the high, though, that overnight high, 15,170, that can open up a return back toward the recent highs of the multi-day range here. This market continues to trend down overall. It's failed at the midpoint. It's already reached the low. One of the things we mentioned before is based on market structure. You have this market structure high right there. You have the previous high there. And when you failed at this high, you start working your way down to the next level below. The next level is right here, 14,850 or so. That's the next zone down. So we still have a little bit more to go get that level, especially if the ES is going to work its way down to the previous month's low. So again, given the trend right now, bears are looking to defend morning strength for another round of weakness ahead. That's the primary trend at the moment with the path of least resistance. If we take a look here at crude oil, you'll see crude oil right now up about a third of 1%, mostly narrow for the most part, ahead of pre-market economic data points here. Today we have building permits and housing starts prior to the RTH open. Crude oil inventories about an hour after the RTH open there, 9:30 a.m. Central. And the big one here later on this afternoon is going to be FOMC Meeting Minutes, which could lead to some late day volatility. Right now, markets clearly coiled up ahead of pre-market data points. Narrow range, still trending up, but the level that we mentioned to continue to watch is the 80.50 level. That's this blue dotted line right there. 80.51 is the previous year's close price. It came back to the level, pushed through the level, here rejected, now it's back to the level. At some point down the road, bears will be looking to defend failed new highs for a shot at breaking through the 80.50 level and transitioning back below it. So a push through 2-day lows or a push through this level could open up some downside. Failed new high up top could trigger the initial decline up ahead. So keep an eye on this zone. Again, a failure at 80.50 and you start to work your way down the range here, just as we have multiple times over the past 10 months or so. If we take a look at gold futures right now, with gold futures, this one's pretty much break even at the moment on the day. Pretty flat for the most part, range bound, 40% of average, inside day range with a downtrend at the moment. Very clear weakness. This day right here we mentioned was a really, really strong rejection. It was a good rejection on a key level, after a reversal here, and that rejection was good enough for maybe a return back up. We talked about the potential of rallying as high as 2040, but a failure occurred right away, and since that failure, a big-time continuation down has occurred instead, and that likely extends into the previous month's low price. That's going to be 1910. You have a rising 200 period average there as well, and 1900 as the round number just below it. So we could be looking at further weakness up ahead toward 1900. Any pullback could be a selling opportunity. Failed new highs could be a great opportunity to defend for a continuation lower. If we take a look lastly at the YM right now, narrow range, 143 points of range right now, way less than 40%. Let's see, that's just 36 points on 143 points, so 36% of ADR. Again, another third of average range. What you notice here is a bit of rounded behavior here. Rounded top with a strong failed new high right there, leading lower. You're starting to see a strong close below recent lows, and that could be indicative of a failure to come and a return to 33,800. That's the next key level down. So if this break is the initial breakdown, or perhaps, again, we've already been rounding off, if this is, the next pullback is a sell, we could be looking at 33.8 down the road. If this is a huge shakeout and say we're going to bounce instead, we need a good strong low on this end right here. We need something like this. We need something like that. One of those good strong lows here that can turn things back up off of this edge. We are trending up here. If we get a great low here, there could still be another rotation up, but this is the major pivot in the charts. A failure here, and you start to rotate quite a bit down. 33.8 would be the next target down. Right now we're at 35k, so 1200 points a potential range. This narrow 3-week range right here has easily 1500 to 2000 points of energy inside that range, so it could be a great move up ahead. Keep an eye on 35k here for the YM. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.